Imagine this for a moment: you wake up tomorrow feeling just a little more tired than usual. You brush it off, thinking it's stress or lack of sleep. Maybe later in the day, you notice some discomfort in your chest or shortness of breath after climbing the stairs, but again, you tell yourself, it's nothing serious, I just need some rest. Weeks pass, and the small signs keep coming back, but they're so easy to ignore, until one day, everything changes in an instant. This is the reality for millions of people around the world. The human heart is an incredible organ, beating over 100,000 times per day to keep us alive. Yet, when it starts to give warning signals that something isn't right, most people overlook them. They convince themselves it's just fatigue, anxiety, or aging. But here's the shocking truth: by ignoring these early signs, they're putting their lives at risk. That's why today's video is not just important, it could literally save your life or the life of someone you love. Stay with me until the end, because I'll walk you through 5 hidden signs that your heart may not be okay and the 7 most common symptoms of heart problems that everyone needs to recognize. I'll explain what they feel like, why they happen, and why they should never be ignored. This isn't about creating fear, it's about creating awareness. Because when you know what to look for, you can take action before it's too late. Now, let's start with something that may surprise you: your heart doesn't always communicate problems through dramatic chest pain, like in the movies. In fact, the early warning signs can be subtle, and that's exactly what makes them so dangerous. They sneak into your daily life in ways you might never connect to your heart. And yet, behind those signals, your body could be screaming for help. The first sign is unusual fatigue. Think about it: you used to have plenty of energy to get through your day, but now even small tasks leave you drained. You feel like you've run a marathon after climbing just a few steps. This isn't the normal tiredness you get after a busy week, it's a deep, persistent fatigue that doesn't improve with rest. The reason this happens is because when the heart isn't pumping effectively, less oxygen reaches your muscles and tissues, leaving you exhausted all the time. People often confuse this with stress or lack of sleep, but when tiredness becomes constant and unexplainable, it could be your heart waving a red flag. The second sign is swelling in your feet, ankles, or legs. Many people dismiss this as nothing more than standing too long or eating too much salty food. But swelling, also known as edema, can occur when the heart struggles to circulate blood properly. As a result, fluid builds up in the body, especially in the lower extremities. At first, it may look mild: your shoes feel tighter than usual, or you notice sock marks around your ankles. But when this keeps happening, it's not something to ignore. It's one of the clearest physical signs that your heart might not be functioning as it should. The third sign is irregular heartbeat. Have you ever felt your heart skip a beat, flutter in your chest, or race unexpectedly? While occasional palpitations can happen to anyone, frequent or persistent irregular rhythms can indicate something much more serious. The heart has its own natural electrical system, and when that system is disrupted, it can affect how efficiently blood is pumped through your body. Some people describe it as a pounding sensation, others as a flutter. But whatever the feeling, if it happens often, it should never be brushed off as just nerves. The fourth sign is persistent shortness of breath. Imagine walking across the room or bending over to tie your shoes, and suddenly you feel like you can't catch your breath. This happens because when the heart can't pump properly, fluid can build up in the lungs, making breathing harder. Many people confuse this with asthma, allergies, or even being out of shape, but if you notice shortness of breath during everyday activities, or worse, when you're lying down at night, it could be one of the most important signs your heart is struggling. The fifth hidden sign is chest discomfort. Notice that I didn't say chest pain. That's because it doesn't always feel like sharp pain. For many people, it's a pressure, a squeezing, or a fullness in the chest that comes and goes. Sometimes it even spreads to the arms, back, neck, or jaw. It's easy to dismiss as indigestion or muscle strain, but this kind of discomfort should never be ignored. When your heart muscle isn't getting enough blood flow, this is often how it tries to warn you. Now, here's where things become even more critical. These 5 signs, Unusual fatigue, swelling, irregular heartbeat, shortness of breath, and chest discomfort, are the heart's way of sounding the alarm. And yet, millions of people ignore them every single year. They think they're too busy, too young, or too healthy for something to be wrong with their heart. But the truth is, heart problems can affect anyone, regardless of age or lifestyle. Think about it, how many times have you heard of someone who seemed perfectly fine, active, and full of life, until suddenly they weren't? The reality is that in many of those cases, the body was sending signals all along. They just weren't recognized in time. That's why staying until the end of this video is so important, because next, I'll take you through the 7 most common symptoms of heart problems that you absolutely need to be aware of. Some of these might surprise you, because they don't always appear where you'd expect. And here's something I want you to do right now: think about your own body. Have you noticed any of these 5 signs? Or maybe you've seen them in someone close to you. If so, don't ignore them. Awareness is the first step to protection. By watching this video all the way through, you're giving yourself the power to act before it's too late. The heart doesn't give second chances when it's ignored. But when you pay attention and take action early, you can prevent serious consequences and live a longer, healthier life. So keep watching. In the next part, we'll go deeper into the 7 major symptoms of heart problems, some obvious, some hidden, that everyone should know. These symptoms are often the difference between catching an issue early and missing the chance to protect your health. Now that we've uncovered the 5 hidden signs that your heart may not be okay, it's time to take a closer look at the 7 most common symptoms of heart problems. These are the ones that, when you recognize them, can make all the difference between early action and late regret. Remember, this is not about creating panic, it's about giving you the tools to protect yourself and the people you love. The first symptom is chest pressure or discomfort. As we touched on earlier, this doesn't always show up as dramatic pain. Many people describe it as a squeezing, heaviness, or tightness in the chest. Sometimes it feels like someone is sitting on your chest, or like a belt is being tightened around your ribcage. The discomfort may last for a few minutes, or it may come and go, especially during physical activity or emotional stress. When the heart muscle isn't getting enough oxygen-rich blood, this is how it reacts. And while indigestion or muscle strain can feel similar, if you notice this type of discomfort more than once, it's time to take it seriously. The second symptom is pain that radiates beyond the chest. This one catches many people off guard. Instead of feeling pain only in the chest, it can spread to the shoulders, arms, neck, jaw, or even the upper back. Some people feel it primarily in the left arm, while others describe it as pressure in the jaw or throat. Because it doesn't always appear directly over the heart, people dismiss it as dental pain, muscle soreness, or even stress. But radiating discomfort is one of the classic patterns of a heart in trouble. The third symptom is shortness of breath, and it's more common than you might think. Imagine doing something simple, like walking across the room or carrying groceries, and suddenly you feel like you've run a marathon. You're gasping for air, unable to catch your breath, even though the task wasn't difficult. This happens because when the heart can't pump effectively, fluid may build up in the lungs, making breathing harder. Some people notice it at night when lying down, forcing them to sit up just to breathe more easily. If breathing problems appear without another clear explanation, your heart may be the reason. The fourth symptom is dizziness or lightheadedness. Have you ever stood up and suddenly felt like the room was spinning, or like you might faint? While occasional dizziness can come from dehydration or standing up too quickly, persistent lightheadedness can be linked to heart problems. When the heart isn't pumping enough blood to the brain, you may feel weak, unsteady, or on the verge of blacking out. Some describe it as a floating sensation, others as a sudden wave of weakness. Either way, it's a signal that your body isn't getting the circulation it needs. The fifth symptom is nausea or stomach discomfort. This one surprises a lot of people because it doesn't sound like a heart problem at all. Many assume nausea is just food-related or linked to stomach flu. But in reality, the heart and digestive system are closely connected through the vagus nerve. When the heart is struggling, it can trigger sensations of nausea, indigestion, or even vomiting. Women, in particular, often experience this symptom more commonly than men, which is why it's sometimes overlooked. But when nausea appears alongside chest discomfort or shortness of breath, it's time to pay attention. The sixth symptom is sweating. Now, we're not talking about sweating after a workout or in hot weather. We're talking about cold, clammy sweats that appear suddenly, often when you're not physically active. People often describe it as a wave of sweat that drenches their clothes out of nowhere. This happens because the body is under stress, and the nervous system goes into overdrive when the heart isn't functioning properly. Sudden unexplained sweating is one of the most underestimated but important warning symptoms. The seventh and final symptom is extreme fatigue. We mentioned unusual tiredness earlier as a hidden sign, but when it becomes overwhelming, so strong that daily tasks feel impossible, it's often linked to serious heart problems. Some people feel drained even after sleeping, or they lose the energy to do simple activities they once enjoyed. When the heart cannot supply enough blood to meet the body's needs, exhaustion becomes unavoidable. And while fatigue can come from many causes, persistent, unexplained exhaustion deserves immediate attention. Now, let's recap the 7 major symptoms we've just covered: chest pressure or discomfort, pain radiating beyond the chest, shortness of breath, dizziness, nausea, sudden sweating, and extreme fatigue. These are not random occurrences. They are signals that your heart could be in distress. What makes them dangerous is how often people dismiss them. They tell themselves it's just stress, just aging, or just being out of shape. But the body doesn't lie, it always has a reason for the way it feels. Here's something important to keep in mind: heart problems don't always appear suddenly. They can build slowly over time, with these symptoms acting as early whispers before a louder event occurs. The tragedy is that many people wait until the loud event to pay attention. By then, the opportunity to prevent it has already been lost. Think about someone you know, maybe a family member, a colleague, or a friend, who brushed off small health changes, only to later face a serious heart issue. Stories like these are far too common, but they don't have to be. Awareness and early action are the key. And remember, while these symptoms can point to heart problems, they don't automatically mean you have a severe condition. Other issues can cause similar feelings. But here's the truth: the only way to know for sure is to take action, get checked, and listen to your body. Doing nothing is the riskiest choice of all. Before we move into the final part of this video, let's reflect on why this matters so much. The heart is not just another organ, it's your body's lifeline, the center of everything. When it speaks through these symptoms, ignoring it is like ignoring a fire alarm. Even if it turns out to be nothing serious, checking is always the right move. In the final chapter, we'll tie everything together. You'll learn how to protect your heart, what lifestyle changes make the biggest difference, and why sharing this knowledge could save not only your life but also someone else's. Stay with me, because the most important part is still ahead. Now that you've learned the 5 hidden signs and the 7 most common symptoms of heart problems, it's time to take all this information and turn it into action. Because knowledge without action changes nothing. What will truly protect you, and the people you love, is what you do starting today. The first thing to understand is this: your heart is incredibly resilient, but it's not indestructible. It gives you warning signals for a reason. When you ignore them, you're asking it to work harder and harder until one day it simply can't anymore. But when you listen, when you take those signals seriously, you give yourself the chance to correct the problem before it becomes irreversible. So, what steps should you take? Let's start with awareness. If you notice any of the symptoms we've discussed, whether it's unusual fatigue, swelling, chest pressure, or shortness of breath, don't dismiss them. Don't wait for them to get worse. Pay attention and talk to a professional. Sometimes it's something minor, but other times it could be the early stage of something far more serious. The only way to know is to act. The second step is regular checkups. Many people only see a doctor when something feels wrong, but by then it can already be late. Preventive care is not just about catching problems early, it's about peace of mind. A simple check of your blood pressure, cholesterol, and overall heart health can reveal issues long before they cause symptoms. Think of it this way: you service your car regularly to avoid breakdowns. Why wouldn't you do the same for your heart, the engine that keeps you alive? The third step is lifestyle. This is where you have the most power. Every choice you make daily either strengthens your heart or puts more strain on it. A balanced diet filled with fresh fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and lean proteins gives your body the nutrients it needs to fight back against disease. Reducing processed foods, sugar, and excess salt helps take the pressure off your heart. Staying active, even with something as simple as a 30-minute walk each day, improves circulation, lowers stress, and boosts your energy levels. And let's not forget sleep. Quality rest is one of the most underrated tools for protecting your heart. When you give your body time to repair itself, you reduce the risk of long-term problems. But beyond these physical steps, there's something else that matters just as much: your mindset. Too many people live in denial, believing that heart problems only happen to other people. They think they're too young, too strong, or too busy to worry about it. But the truth is, heart problems don't discriminate. They can affect anyone, at any age, regardless of lifestyle. The strongest decision you can make is to face the possibility, not run from it. Because courage in health isn't about ignoring fear, it's about acting despite it. And here's where I want to leave you with something powerful. Imagine yourself 5 years from now. Do you want to look back and say, "I wish I had listened to the signs," or do you want to say, "I'm grateful I paid attention and protected my health"? The choice is yours today. Every step you take in the right direction adds time, energy, and quality to your life. Also remember, this isn't just about you. Think about the people who depend on you: your family, your friends, your children, your partner. When you take care of your heart, you're also taking care of them, ensuring that you'll be around to share more moments, more laughter, and more memories. Sometimes, the greatest gift you can give your loved ones is the commitment to your own health. Now, if this video has opened your eyes to the importance of listening to your body, don't stop here. Share this video with someone you care about. It could be your father, your brother, a coworker, or a friend. You never know, what you share today could be the reason they recognize a symptom early and save their own life. That's how powerful awareness can be. And before you go, take one final step: subscribe to this channel, click like, and turn on notifications. By doing that, you'll not only stay informed, but you'll also help us spread this life-saving information to thousands more people who need to hear it. Together, we can create a community that values health, awareness, and prevention. Your heart is your greatest ally. It beats for you, without stopping, every second of your life. The least you can do is listen when it asks for help. Don't ignore the signals. Don't wait until it's too late. Take action now, because your future depends on it. Thank you for watching until the end. Protect your heart, protect your life, and remember, the small choices you make today can create the healthier, stronger tomorrow you deserve.